somewhere out in the middle of the prairies, a young woman at a kitchen table in Regina, Saskatchewan, got the idea that she could start her own jewelry business. And I don't know about you, Rachel Mielke, but when I saw this photograph of you on a billboard on a busy street, I thought that's where everything came together with respect to Big Little Legends, Chapter 10, How to Sparkle Like World Changers. Thank you so much for joining us. And we were just talking before, could you have imagined at any time when you were starting out that someday you'd be out there in lights like that?
In some ways, no. Like the way that things have transpired have been beyond my wildest dreams. And in some ways also, I think you, as an entrepreneur, you have to have a vision that's way bigger than maybe you believe is even possible. And so kind of there's both parts to it. From the beginning, there was a very big vision that I believed that we could take a product to the world. Did I know how we were going to do that in the beginning? Absolutely not. But it was there. The vision was there. And then also, as things have unfolded over the years, over and over again, like amazing opportunities have really just always surprised and inspired me. And it's really been an exciting journey.
Your story is featured in Chapter 10. It's called Sparkle Like World Changers. And just to give folks who've already read the book or actually about to go read it, give them that feeling. Bring us back to the day you started on the kitchen table, going to that flea market, basically, because I don't think people ever get tired of that story.
Yeah, well, I mean, it started with just a passion for making jewelry. I started making jewelry for myself and loved that feeling of putting something on that was high quality and handmade, and the feeling that it gave you that inspired, maybe a bit of a spark in your step that day. And that was something that really kind of was a spark for me that inspired me to want to do that for more women. And so it all just started at my kitchen table, just making product. And then, kind of slowly people started asking to buy it. And then I was asked to participate in a trade show. And that was the beginning of everything that really opened the doors to my belief that it could be possible to start a global brand from Regina, Saskatchewan.
Describe the feeling, though, from that one trade show. Someone said something. I just believe, Rachel, the universe always whispers. It's always, are we hearing it or not?
Absolutely. So, I mean, I think up until that trade show, there was still a lot of questions. Was this possible? Was it possible to launch a fashion brand from Regina, Saskatchewan? And the trade show was really the aha moment that it was possible. The doors opened, and it was my very first experience of selling my product to a large group of women. And it was incredible. The product all went. I was busy with orders for the next 3 weeks. And it was that moment of like, yes, it's possible. I can do it. And that changed everything.
It was a nurses conference, I believe. And then fast forward all these years later, and the line, 10, 20 years to become an overnight success. Your stores, if I may say, are stunning in their visual elegance. And so what I understand too is beyond what's written in Chapter 10, you've got dreams of expanding even further. Tell us about that.
Well, along the journey, what we have seen is women have resonated with the product. And more importantly, I think they've resonated with our ethos as a business to take the success of our brand and help support community organizations across the country. And we've had the incredible opportunity to use a significant portion of our profits over the years, up to $10 million we've already given in cash and product to support hundreds of organizations. So I think the bigger story here is that women are the ones driving this. And I feel like we're following the cues of our customers that they want to see more of Hillberg Berk, and there really is a demand to open additional retail locations. So we're currently opening our 13th store. We're as of next spring, we're going to be right from BC to Manitoba, and certainly have our sights set on continuing to follow the drive of our customers to continue to expand our business through retail and through online.
It's unthinkable that a small business could someday be in a position to, as you said, donate more than $10 million to charitable efforts. But every big little legend we ever studied had a pivotal moment where things really changed forever. That day when you got the phone call, and we want to hear the full story, Rachel, of you got the phone call. Can you make a piece of jewelry for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth? And again, another story that never gets old.
Well, and I even to take it a step back, I think so many entrepreneurs go through incredibly challenging times. And for me, this opportunity came off the heels of one of the most challenging times of my life, watching my dad be diagnosed with ALS, watching him, go through that battle and then ultimately, passing away from ALS. This was my year leading up to getting this commission. And there was many times where I just felt like it was too much to be going through that as an entrepreneur, to be going through the economic crisis that was happening 2009 2010, and then this was a couple months after all of that transpired that we got a phone call, an invitation to meet with the private secretary of the lieutenant governor of Saskatchewan. And she came into my office and she said, we have this opportunity where the LG is going to go and meet with the Queen next year, and we'd like to take a Saskatchewan gift. Would you be open to, we have a very modest budget, would you be open to creating this? And it was really a life-changing moment where I still sometimes, it's hard to believe that was even a real moment. And, coincidentally, I just purchased this huge lot of Madagascar tourmaline that I was probably just going to choose a few pieces from. It was such a beautiful lot. And in the end, we kept the whole lot because we were able to create the brooch from it, create this entire collection inspired by the brooch. And that was a moment that certainly kind of changed everything for the entire business.
Take us into the day when the Queen was spotted, and then news of her wearing your jewelry is flashed literally all over the world like that.
So even though we were commissioned to make this piece, we didn't have like huge expectations that she was going to wear it. Well, first at all, if she wore it at all, it would be kind of a miracle is what we were told. And then if she was to wear it, it would be months and months and months, if not years down the road, because her wardrobe was planned so far in advance that it's going to take time for this to all be worked in if it ever happens. So it was less than 4 months after it had been gifted to her that the telephone rang in our office, and my admin assistant picked up the phone and she covered the receiver and kind of yelled across the office. She's like, Rachel, it's a media inquiry about your reaction to the Queen wearing the brooch. And this was the first that we had heard about it at all. And the whole office just went totally silent. Everyone ran to my office. I flipped open my laptop. We quickly Googled like the date and Queen Elizabeth, and all of these gorgeous images came up. And I get super emotional even telling the story, because in that moment, I just knew that everything was going to change forever. And there was so much press and so much media and excitement about, the story of this small company from Saskatchewan getting this big opportunity, and something about this design resonating with the Queen because she had so quickly worn it. And this piece she has gone on to wear that we've noticed at least a dozen times. So, and it's highly unusual that she repeats the accessories that often. So something about the piece spoke to her, as it does with many of our customers.
Well, and to top it all off, you get another chance. Queen Elizabeth, you're doing good business when the customer wants another piece. Tell us about this one.
So for the Queen's Sapphire Jubilee, the government of Canada put out an open call for bids and designs from companies all across Canada. And we were very fortunately chosen to create a second piece for Queen Elizabeth. So we created this gorgeous Canadian sapphire and diamond and gold piece that reflects Canada. We created a snowflake design, a brooch, because snow touches all of Canada. And then this was presented on behalf of the government of Canada for the Queen's Sapphire Jubilee. So yeah, I mean, once in a lifetime opportunity happening twice.
Rachel, I know one of the things you're very passionate about is female entrepreneurship, promoting the idea for more women to be in business. You yourself are a role model now, because we know you get extensive media coverage. You're invited to be on many top-rated podcasts, including the Leadership Standard from Tech Canada. But above and beyond all that, what are your thoughts on young women thinking about pursuing a career in entrepreneurship? What are maybe the 3 best pieces of advice you could give?
Well, look, the world needs the innovation and talent of anyone who has a great idea. And quite often the things that hold us back are just confidence to try it, because it can be super overwhelming to take the first step into entrepreneurship. And so my advice is, if you have an idea, if you have a product or something that you're passionate about, you don't need necessarily a business education, although it's fantastic to have one. And I'm so thankful that I did. As an entrepreneur, you can figure it out along the way. There's nothing exceptional about, most entrepreneurs, other than the fact that they just committed to figuring it out one day at a time. And so, I really try to encourage women to pursue their passions and find a way to take their product to the world and to scale up. Because if more women-owned businesses scaled up across Canada, it would have a tremendous economic impact on our economy. And so it's not just a feel-good thing. It's not just about women empowerment. It is about economic security for our nation in the future.
And on that note, what is it about mentorship? What role has that played in your evolution as an entrepreneur?
It's incredibly important. It has been from day one and continues to be. It's important that you have people that you can talk to when you have questions, when you have challenges, when there's unknowns in how to continue to build and grow your business. So I've had incredible male and female mentors my whole entrepreneurial journey, and still do. And I think it's important for entrepreneurs to also find, how do you find young entrepreneurs to give back and to mentor and to sponsor them and to share openly about things that you've learned along the journey.
I would think the insights you get from women entrepreneurs very different than men, because the perspectives, let's face it, are very, very different. In that spirit, Rachel, I think there are a growing number of men who have become increasingly sensitive to the very unique needs. What is it right now you would teach the guys, so to speak? How can we help?
Yeah, well, I think that one interesting thing that I think women entrepreneurs, quite often we see taking challenges on for community issues. So quite often you see women entrepreneurs who are growing their businesses, but also very tapped into the community around them and looking to solve community challenges that might be happening right in their own backyard. And it's not just female entrepreneurs that do that, but we do see that in a large number of female-run businesses that women are really focused on that and care deeply about how can they use their business as a tool to support challenges that are happening in our community and globally. And I think that that's a trend. That's something that more and more people are realizing is incredibly important as you look at your business and set up your business model. How do you think about just more than the bottom line? Think about, obviously it's becoming more of a trend. And I think that there are so many women who are very passionate about using their business as a force for social good.
I left this till the very, very end. Two things. Not only did your business grow through a pandemic, but it grew while you battled through cervical cancer. Talk to us about that, the inner strength and the kind of support you got at home from your family.
Yeah, definitely challenging times. And through those times, I didn't know how the business was going to come out the other side. It's really important that you have an incredible team around you, which I do at H&B. I have the most incredible team that supports me. And that allowed me to really take a step back and take care of myself when it was so important that I needed to be able to do that. So I think that was like kind of the first thing that was really important, was that I had that team in place, but also I have an incredible family. My husband has chosen to be a full-time dad to help support our family and to give our family the balance that was missing for many years in our family, which is amazing. And I just feel so thankful for an incredible partner like him and my whole extended family. We recently moved to Victoria to be closer to extended family, and they're all just very supportive of the life we live, which can be a very hectic one.
Well, you're a precious contributor to Big Little Legends. Rachel, I think it was Shaquille O'Neal who said once something like, hey, life isn't always sunshine and glitz and glamour and rainbows and lollipops. Sometimes it's grits and pork chops. Can you wrap up on that note?
Yeah, when you're an entrepreneur, that most days are not sunshine and rainbows, and that's okay. It's what you sign up for when you get into business for yourself. And honestly, I think the tough stuff that we go through in life makes everything else so much sweeter. So nobody wants to have hard days, but I think I'm thankful for the challenging days, because it really makes the rest of life feel a lot nicer.
Rachel, thank you so much for doing this and being part of Big Little Legends, Chapter 10.
Thanks so much, Gare.
Yes, Rachel Mielke, the CEO of Hillberg and Berk. And every day, she and her company are one of many female-led organizations that are helping people sparkle like world changers. We appreciate Rachel's contribution here on Leaders and Legends. Thank you for watching, where you never know who you're going to meet or what you'll discover.